Welcome to Viking Football with head coach Bruce Barnum as we get ready for the season finale at home. The final home game of the season, Portland State takes on second-ranked Sacramento State this Friday night, 6 p.m. New time and new date for Viking football, so be there Friday night, 6 p.m. It'll be a big game against one of the nation's very best teams. Coach, we're going to talk about Sacramento State and all the challenges they bring in just a minute, but let's take a look back at a very fun Saturday. Last Saturday at Hillsboro, the Vikings beating Northern Colorado 35-21, and we have highlights on both offense and defense. I'm going to touch on the offense first. It seems that we've had some moments this season with some real explosiveness. In other words, 28 points in the space of about 10 minutes of game time, 4 touchdown passes in a row for Dante Sachere. Kind of shows the potential this offense has.
It is, Mike. It's good to see that, spit out like that, a quarter here, 2 quarters here, and now coming up, we're going to talk about Sac in a minute, but put 4 of those quarters and together and see what you can do about, the mighty Hornets. So it was fun to watch. It's fun to watch when they're clicking like that. When everything's there, the protection, the run game, see guys come together, see guys healthy and on the field playing. But it was cool. That was a fun deal. We talked about it early. Somehow Northern Colorado kind of had their storyline, was get up. They get up on everybody. And we talked about that as a team. Be patient and weather the storm, and to see the offense have a second quarter like that was pretty cool.
And for the second week in a row, some outstanding running from a couple of guys, Joby Mallory, Emmanuel Dagby, 200-plus yards in the running game. You get a lead, and you got a couple of guys like that you can really rely on to methodically move the ball down the field for you.
We did, and you saw that game, Mike. Coming up a few scores. Let's get the dub. Let's keep that clock running, moving, and we went heavy run. In that second half, some boots and a couple third down we put in there, but that's good. It's a good weapon to have to be able to run the clock out and move the chains like that running the football.
And the Vikings went down 14-0 early in the game as the defense had to make a few adjustments. A few players missing in that defense required those adjustments, but then they did something you rarely ever see in the Big Sky. They held an opponent 8 straight series without scoring. That is a long time in a football game. I believe it was 4 punts, a missed field goal, a blocked field goal, an interception, a fumble recovery. The defense really set the tone, and then the offense just took away with it. They had to feel good about your defensive performance.
We did. Had some turnovers, Mike. We that side, the missed field goal and short field, and it was fun to watch. Saw some sacks. Those are always fun from a head coach, anybody standpoint, to see them get to the quarterback, Northern Colorado's quarterback. But it was 8 times out and no scoring. That gets frustrating on the other side of the field, but it gives us confidence, to be able to run the football no matter where it's at, to be able to burn that clock, knowing no matter where they get it back, our defense is going to stop them.
And that allowed the Vikings to score 35 unanswered points and really come away with a fairly comfortable win. Now we look at Sacramento State this Friday night, and the Hornets, maybe the best team in the nation. We're going to find out. They're 9-0 right now, ranked 2nd in the nation. They're ranked 3rd in the nation in scoring. They have all kinds of great numbers. I believe they've won 17 Big Sky games in a row. You just don't do that in the Big Sky. It's too tough of a conference, but they've accomplished it. So a big challenge ahead for the Vikings. And really, when you look at Sacramento State's team, very unusual. They have 2 quarterbacks that they play a lot. They rotate them in and out, and I think they kind of almost play them on a hunch. What the coach feels like, this is the guy I want in right now in this part of the game. And then they throw a great running back, Cameron Scatabo. On top of that, he leads the Big Sky in rushing, so a real dynamic offense.
They are, offense and defense. They're playing with effort. They're playing with confidence, which they should be. They're getting by everybody. They're whooping everybody's ass. So, great staff, Troy and the defensive side of the ball. They're quality. They know what they're doing, and their kids have adapted to the system. They're playing hard. So, go through all the games. They get in tight situations and they expect to win. It's pretty cool to watch. I mean, honestly, we're teaching our kids some from what we see on film from them. Get blocked, get off a block, get knocked down, get back up, make a tackle. They're playing well right now, and we'll see what we can, throw together for them. Hopefully put one together and give the mighty Hornets a look on Friday night.
And you're an offensive coordinator, but how hard is it I'm going to ask you about how hard it is for a defensive coordinator. You got two quarterbacks. One's maybe a little more pass-oriented. One's maybe a little more run-oriented. How hard is it to prepare for two guys that are it's 1A and 1B. They're both quality starters in the Big Sky Conference. It's got to be a challenge, and especially when you don't know who's coming in when.
Right. Again, they're playing fast. Both of them. Doesn't matter who's in. So their tempo. Add one does run, the ball really well, and 12, the other kid can chuck and duck and has people to give the ball to. When they get in trouble, they give it to the old Scatabo or the running back. So again, they're clicking on all cylinders right now. So the two quarterback systems, that's great when they're both productive, and they are. So they're sticking with that, and again, it's a challenge, it's a puzzle. To try to, slow down and make them punt.
And when you look at their schedule, they've played the three nationally ranked teams, the same ones that we have played, Montana, Idaho, and Weber State, and beaten all three. So not only are they undefeated, those are quality wins for the Hornets. Now, as we look at the great offense they have, I guess that puts the challenge on the Viking offense. You got to keep up, you got to score points, and it's a challenge for the defense, but just as much for the offense to keep up.
Yeah, the only low-scoring game, honestly, you've seen is the Montana one, where they drove down and went in overtime. The guy caught the ball in the round field, and that was the only game that the score was low. So they're able to score, and they can score quick. You'd love to win time of possession and keep them off the field. The problem with Troy and his crew, though, they put them out there for one play and they pop a 70-yarder. So. It's going to be fun. It's our kids' last game. We have some seniors. We'll walk out before we blow the whistle, and again, try to put one together against I don't know how you rank all the teams, but I know we thought they'd be number one coming in to this game, but they're coming in number 2 in the country. You talk about a challenge. It's kind of a playoff game. How good you want to be.
All right, and you mentioned the seniors. It will be senior night, and it's tough to mention all the seniors. There are 19 of them, but maybe a few thoughts on your senior group. I know you got about 8 or 9 of them that are 4-year letter winners here that have meant a lot to you and are team captains. Talk a little bit about your seniors.
Well, the first thing is, again, their leadership, Mike, their play. They're good football players. They took advantage of COVID. They're smart. Most of them, I think, are leaving with graduate degrees. That's unheard of. But they made the best out of the shutdown, the lockdown situation in that off year. So between that, they're going to be missed. They're going to be missed. We have a good crew coming up behind them. But as every year, when you lose seniors, but when you lose a class like last year's class, that you actually brought in and saw the whole way through. That's pretty cool to see them leave from how they came in, maturity-wise, etc. I'm talking off the field. We all knew they could play football. That's why we brought them here. But to see how they've changed just as people, I'm proud to put every one of them out in society.
All right, there it is. And arrive early. Again, Friday night. It's a 6 p.m. kickoff. We'll introduce the seniors prior to the game. So get out there to Hillsboro Stadium early and honor those seniors and watch two great football teams in the Big Sky. Final home game of the season for the Vikings. For all your information on Vikings football, go to govikes.com.